All right, welcome everyone to a culture where every voice matters, how to unlock creativity and innovation at work. This is an experience brought to you by the Culture First community. The purpose of today is to explore how we can foster psychological safety and innovation within our teams by creating cultures where everyone's voice is heard, valued, and empowered. Myself, if we haven't met, my name is Jessie Jacob. I run our Culture First Global Chapters community. So, hello, thanks for being here. And then we also have a Slack community. My new colleague, Kristen Pina Flores, she runs our People Geek Slack community. So, if you see her around the Culture First universe, you'll know us. And then joining us today, Christy Tonge. I'm so excited she made today happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Christy. She is a leadership and culture strategist, does executive coaching, is a podcast host and producer for the Authentic Leadership Podcast. Yeah,
it's called Leaders Get Real.
Leaders Get Real. So I'm so excited and we are looking forward to getting into this. So, all right, we're going to do a little check-in. We're going to geek out on some research. We're going to get into a facilitated activity with our featured speakers, and then we'll have time to connect with one another for an open kind of community discussion about how do we put what we've learned here today into action. Session disclaimer, if this is your first community event, this is a community led by Culture Amp. And so this is a specific community led event. We recognize that things may be sensitive and may make folks uncomfortable throughout. And as we navigate these conversations, we're all about creating inclusive environments to have hard conversations, discuss bold topics. And so we ask that you take care of yourself, and we're open to your feedback if and how we can improve always. All right. So if you have never been to a Culture First event and you're like, who are these people and what is it you say you do here? We are a group of people around the world united in the shared belief that a better world of work is possible. And I always like to add on to this and say, by golly, we are willing to do something about it. For yeah, exactly. For context, there's 100 chapters now around the world in 80 different cities. We have 20,000 chapter members, and we host about 300 events a day, just so you have an understanding of like, this is one piece of a much broader, bigger community. We have 5 core principles that we ask you to embody during our time today. So we ask you to foster belonging and acceptance. Just let people feel seen, valued, and appreciated for showing up and being themselves. We ask that you have the willingness to reflect and grow. Yes, we're on this mission to transform the future of work, but ultimately that starts with us being the change we want to see in the world. The thirds have the courage to be vulnerable. So whatever that edge of vulnerability looks like for you, it's going to be different than what it looks like for me, but playing with that edge and just honoring that we all are wearing these different masks and layers and facets of who we are. And if we can be more of ourselves, it creates more trust and psychological safety for other people to do the same. We ask that you put your learning into action. So we don't want you to just consume content. We want this to be something that you can implement into the way that you live, into the way that you work. And lastly, we connection inside, business outside. So it's a fancy way of saying that in the context of this container, we ask that you connect first as a human being. And if that leads to us doing business in some capacity after this gathering, that's awesome. That's cool. But like hardcore sales and networking's not the reason we're here today. We're here to learn and grow and connect with one another. So can I have a thumbs up that you all are willing to agree to these agreements today? Awesome. Great. Can see more of your faces. Hi, Kimberly. All right, Christy, I'm handing it to you to introduce our speakers today.
All right. I would be delighted to do that. I have the honor of introducing to you all today the Brothers Koren, Isaac and Thorald, Australian brothers who came to New York City years ago as aspiring musical artists with big dreams and who actually made it big, opening up for the likes of Pink and Coldplay, Bon Jovi, Rod Stewart. And in the midst of all that, in the height of that success, there came a defining moment for them when, having tasted that kind of success, they asked themselves, is this really what we want? Is this really what we were dreaming of? And at that point, there came a dramatic pivot. And they went from pursuing their success to helping unlock the success of others by finding their authentic voice. And so they began at that point coaching aspiring musical artists to find their voice and, you know, to launch top hits, which they have, and they continue to coach musical artists. But they saw how this journey of finding one's voice isn't just relevant for musical artists, that it's relevant for leaders, it's relevant for everyone, in fact. And so Isaac and Thorald, when I first discovered you guys, I was so taken. I was so taken first and foremost by your authenticity. And as someone who has a podcast on authentic leadership, I was like, you know it when you see it. And you guys have some real special qualities. And besides your authenticity, your talent, your gift at creating an environment that truly brings out the best in people, that brings out their highest self and ultimately brings out high performance. And so seeing all that, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely all about leadership and culture. And so that's why I invited you onto my podcast and why I was so excited to invite you to join us with Culture First, because you guys are masters and have a lot of insight for us around creating a culture that leads to innovation and having some wisdom around leadership and the things we can do to create that. So with that, so excited to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you,
Wow,
Christy.
thank you, Christy, and
Thank
Jesse.
you, Jesse, for having us.
Hello, everyone.
We hope this is a first of Culture Firsts together. We love the mission that you are creating here. Clearly, creating culture is the way in which we can hold space for the best of each other to come forward, and we're all about that. And we're so thrilled to be here, having this experience today. So much to get into. So thanks for having us.
Mm-hmm. Now, we've got a lot of rituals in addition to the core values that Jesse shared with Culture First, but one of those is to have a connection moment so that we all join in early on, even though we have some guests to be focused on. So I thought it'd be fun to have you guys, Isaac, Thorald, how about you guys taking the reins for a connection moment? What do you want to prompt our community about to connect?
We kind of have a two-part connection prompt. The first is simply, you know, for us, singing or sounding out, vocalizing is all about, you know, sounding out a feeling. And so our first question is, what today, if you just kind of check in, trusting the first creative impulse that comes to you, perhaps share it in the chat. What is a feeling that's present for you today? And maybe you want to throw it in as a color or as an emoji or a word, whatever comes to you to share, knowing that it's a safe space and also a brave space. So feel free to share in the chat. How are you feeling today?
So what's my first feeling? I'm feeling an amalgamation of feelings, which probably most of us are always feeling, right? Two feelings at the same time, or maybe more than two. I'm particularly feeling like courageous and like a little part of me that I just took a few weeks off. So I'm feeling this little part of me that had the time to rest and like reveal a little bit of old, like childhood, like anxiety, which I've been through a lot of mental health issues in my life. So it's almost like I can feel like a part of me worried about, is everything okay, at the same time as I feel courage wrapped around that. So I feel both and today. How about yourself?
Wow, what a deep root. Well, before I share that, we've got volume. Wow, that's a beautiful feeling. Confident. Oh no, that's what you want. More volume, right? Confident, supported, gratitude, feeling this beautiful purple heart. Inquisitive. Thank you, Enrique.
Interested. I love that.
Curious, anticipation.
Yummy, warm, delicious.
Tired and excited. Well,
Anticipation and fatigue. Tired and excited.
a sore neck.
Relaxed and ready.
We'll check in with you after this experience, Amelia, and see how that neck's doing. But
So for all of you that haven't shared in the chat, just honing in on that feeling that you're having.
the lion face.
Feel free, if you want to make it somatic, just place a hand where that feeling might exist. If it does somatically, or if it is located somewhere in your body, feel free to place a hand. Just meet that feeling. meet that feeling. And here's our second prompt. We're going to up the ante. We're going to dive right into some of what we're going to be doing today. And if it calls you, we ask you to unmute and daringly give that feeling a sound. And we'll join you. You won't be alone. Jesse's going to be with you. Christy's going to be with you. Jesse, what feeling are you voicing today?
Mine's like,
Yes.
I feel that. All right. Well, if you haven't unmuted
we're
already,
inviting you to dare to suck, which is our key principle, which is to unmute and to sound out the first sound that comes to you as a form of connection with each other. So I'm going to start sounding and not wait for you.
Yeah. And then I'll join with my courage and nerves. Here we go. And if you're feeling a little bit more brave, please unmute. Add your sound to the madness. Let's make a cacophony of sound here.
Last chance to connect into this first little melodic moment. Thank you. Well, you can go back to muting, but
round of applause, everyone.
That was awesome.
For those of you that took the prompt and dared to suck, how does that feeling feel now? Was it seen? Was it heard? Was it reflected back? Did it get met by you? Did it get at least the beginning of feeling and being voiced? And how does it?
or
How do
was
you
it
feel now?
completely awkward for you? That's
Yeah,
okay
That's
too.
also great.
Any response is valid, and that's what we love about the voice, is that sometimes it's surprising.
I feel like mine was starting to transmute, starting
cheeks
to
hurt.
digest, starting to morph. My cheeks hurt. I love that.
Well, thank you.
It's a good sign. Well,
Thanks for letting us lead that.
Yeah.
Prompted.
Wonderful. That is a connection moment to remember for us in Culture First. All right, Jesse's going to take us.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. All right, so to tee this up, we're obviously going to be talking about creating a culture where folks can use their voice and share their concerns to create more innovation and creativity within our workplaces. And so to do that, I'll share this slide again. But Culture Amp has some new research that's going to help kind of prime this conversation around the science of sustainable high performance. Has anyone, I know a few of you have read this report. Can I just have like a thumbs up or an emoji? Yeah, okay, a decent amount of people. Cool. Have read this report. I'm not going to go through all of this. It's just like one quick little thing about this, which is that being a sustainable high performer is incredibly rare at our organizations. So the top 2% of folks who get a high performing twice in a row is 2%. So that's like, it's kind of wild. This research was done with over 500,000 employees across, I believe, 1,500 organizations. And so this is just showing you that it's incredibly rare to be a high performer, multiple performance cycles in a row. And there's actually one differentiator for what that thing is that creates someone to be a high performer. Oftentimes our organizations are like, we got to go find that one unicorn human being that is a high performer. You remember when people used to put like rock star, self-starter on like the job description? I think that's so funny. But yeah, so it's not necessarily a characteristic trait. That's all I'll say. So what do you think is the differentiator for employees that are high performers at their organizations? Can anyone guess? Drop in the chat or come off mute. Oh, manager and team environment. Okay. Yep. Connection to the mission, purpose, curiosity, authenticity, boundaries. Okay, someone did get it. Someone got it. Well, close to it. Okay, so for high performers, the key differentiator for them sustaining high performance is whether or not they feel psychologically safe on their teams. When you think about it, right? Like someone may go to war and then they adapt to survive in said environment. And then when they're no longer in a wartime environment, they're going to act totally different. And so our environment is all of this to say that high performance isn't about necessarily a characteristic trait, but whether someone feels psychologically safe in a workplace. And what we know about psychological safety is that you need to be able to voice ideas, worries, concerns. Um, and now we're going to transition and weave this into, i.e., using your voice. So, a little slide here to show you a quick highlighted version of this report, which is sustaining high performance is real. Companies with high engagement also have high performing employees, and employees who stay in high performance feel psychologically safe at work. All right, Christy, I'm handing it off to you, I believe. Oh, wait, you're on mute.
Yeah, I want to throw it over to you, brothers,
Yes.
of whether what have you seen?
Yeah,
in
we've
terms
had the
Yes.
privilege of working with in the last, particularly the last 5 years, but over the last 10 years, we've worked with a lot of people in companies, work directly with companies, and the data says that 75% of the population have some form of glossophobia, some fear, fundamental or terror, all the way to terror of their voice being heard, public speaking, speaking up. We found it to be true that about 2/3 of employees believe that their career options are limited by their relationship to their voice, either confidence or fear. 75% of the workplace harassment victims experience retaliation when they spoke up. Right, and there's a lot of pressure on the voice there. And then the creativity gap, which is big and something we kind of want to prod at today with the experience, is that only 1 in 4 people feel they're living up to their expressive potential, and 1/3 of the population that did this 2023 survey said that they're not creative at all. Right, and so for us that really gets us up in the morning.
I feel like both the voice stats here and the creativity gap speak to more of the space being held to be safe, playful, and brave. And we're going to play with that today, because what we've discovered with the companies we've worked with and also the individuals is that if we don't have a safe, playful, and brave space to try new things, to sound out ideas, to sound out our voice, not knowing if it's going to land and be any good, and we have a really hard time moving beyond inhibition and away from comparing ourselves and competing and into this rareness of our greatness wanting to surface. So for our greatness to surface and become high performance, by the way, we have to feel that we have the right conditions around us to be seen, heard, and reflected back by ourselves and others that are supporting us. And that time and time again rings true. We get to see it on the front lines every day. And it really is a very voice-focused phenomena to feel that.
Wonderful. There's so many layers in what you just said, and we'll get to experience even more of that. But what strikes me, especially with the stats and what I've seen as well in organizations, even when there is a safe or supportive environment, that still it can be challenging for people to really bring their voice, bring their ideas that might be counter or outside the box or unique. And so I've heard you guys talk about small voices, and would love if you'd share those small voices and see if we here can identify with some of those.
Absolutely.
Well, you're so right, Christy, because we're often, when it comes to the voice, we're often our worst critic, and we've internalized, social norms around the voice, which aren't necessarily positive, voice positive. So yeah, the small voices, it's no wonder we all have them, right? And they're not a problem to fix either, which is the good news. They're opportunities the way we see them. So yeah, the small voices.
Well, let's define it first.
Is defined as any negative thought, sensation, alarm that goes off, physical or mental or emotional, that goes off in your body when you go to raise your hand in the boardroom or have to speak up about a difficult situation, fire someone, hire someone, leave your position, find a new job, speaking up for your own value, for example, asking for a raise. All of these things kind of create this opportunity for the small voices to go, remember me.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing this. This is not safe, or this is not what you want. This is not going to end well because of this, this, and this, right? And so these small voices sometimes don't even have a thought attached. It's just an alarm that
can be just a body sensation. I feel like we've spent so long thinking everything is a thought, right? An unsupportive thought, rather than we often get unsupportive sensations in our nervous system. Of course, these are old file markers of times things didn't go well. And we could, bring in the word trauma here, but really it's a spectrum of times we went unsupported around our expression and creativity. And then our nervous system files those moments and it builds up as these sensations and thoughts. So what we've found over working with tens of thousands of people in the last decade are kind of 5 very global, very universal ones that keep showing up. And just so you know, as we talk about these briefly, don't be surprised if you have a few of these as a choir. I've had all 5 in different ways in my life. Totally. But you might find a front runner, right? Yeah. One that has actually plagued you from stepping forward and going beyond inhibition and daring to sark.
The first one that tends to show up, particularly to haunt the front of any creative process, is I'm not good enough, or not anything inserted here before the word enough, not enoughness. Anybody? Yeah. I definitely carried this one when I found my voice, later in the game at 15, accidentally. My friend asked me to sing, and he was like, I didn't know you could sing. I was like, I can't sing, right? So this I didn't try to do this, so I'm not enough, and that would show up just before we'd sing in front of 20,000 people and, behind, on Pink stage or whatever, where there's 20,000 Aussies rabid to see their favorite artist, right? And we had to hold that stage. So, you have to tuck that small voice under your wing. Anybody? I'm not enough, or not good enough. Second is...
Well, we could there's no particular order here. We'll jump to it's not safe, or I'm unsafe if I raise my voice. I'm unsafe if I live into my fullest expression. I mean, even I'm unsafe if I say, I'm going to sing and write a song, even though it's not been my career. We see that as an extremely vulnerable place that the safety small voice can show up. 30-second version, I almost lost my life to a very critical case of obsessive compulsive disorder about a decade and a half ago. And I'm a massive advocate for mental health. We both are. And what almost took me out was a very unhealthy relationship to that small voice. I'm unsafe, and I have to do everything in my power to ritualize and make sure that I'm okay. And so I've been in a long friendship with that little boy in me. And he's here to this day that I'm still caring for, this particular small voice. So if you've had that one, I'm unsafe, it's not safe. Just feel free to share that in the chat, but just feel it in yourself. Next would be, what do you reckon?
It's not, my voice doesn't matter. And this can show up in any kind of hierarchical organizational structure. People are in different teams above and below and all of that. And so our voice can come with this sense of its inherent or externalized value, comparative or otherwise. And so this shows up a lot of the time in our private clients where they've given over their voice literally to others out of either necessity or habit. And when they show up to claim the sovereign space that their own voice is, well, this little voice shows up and says, do not take up space. Do not claim your inherent worth. Do not. Because, this, and this. So anybody, my voice doesn't matter.
Unworthiness is also, my voice isn't worthy. Yeah. Okay, another. It's got to be perfect.
Or else.
It's got to be perfect or I won't bother. All right, so this incredible paradox, especially in 2025 presentation ready world, where we're all exhausted by everyone showing their best foot forward, is we often don't even do because it won't be an A, so we accept Fs, right? What a great paradox, of a small voice. Instead of being okay with a C and a B and getting going, discovering our A's, we decide to just accept the Fs. And it's a very common thing. We see it a lot. Anyone have that? It's got to be perfect or else. Big small voice that we see show up a lot around the voice. I won't speak up yet. I'm not ready.
And can be, an inhibitor to innovation for sure.
Huge.
So the final,
Thank you, Wendy.
the final small voice that might be surprising, but maybe not, especially in a company setting or in a corporate environment. I'm too much.
Or don't be too much.
Don't be too much.
Yeah. A lot of people have experienced this at the company level. They've maybe had experiences where they went all in and it wasn't well received. So they decided to dim down, or they maybe had to dim down for a period of time. Of course, that dimming down is not the actual authentic part of who this person is. And so it kind of contracts on itself. We've found that a lot of people that feel too much are in an internal battle with wanting to be big and loud and share themselves, but also shrink down to fit the space.
And there's so many nuances right here between not enough and too much. And, every situation calls for a new awareness of, what feels the right timing to share of yourself authentically, with grace and honor, to honor what's there in your voice. So we don't claim that these are problems you need to then go and solve or fix or cut out or make war with. We hold these 5 ways of being that we're going to share with you in a moment when we get into our experience. But that's really ultimately the best experience that we want to give these small voices, which is to include them, to bring them to the table, to empower them, to nurture them, to reparent them,
to tuck them under our wing, and to eventually, with enough bravery and safe psychological space that you can create for yourself and those around you, enough time for those parts of you to be voiced, heard, seen, reflected back, and then ultimately digested back into your true voice, which kind of contains it all. So that's just a quick taste of what we get to do with helping people unpack those small voices within them.
Super powerful. I can imagine, I've seen a lot of nodding at how those resonate for those in the call. And as you talk to tens of thousands of people, I've seen many others who have researched this as well. I see some in the community here who are familiar with positive intelligence, where we call them saboteurs, the same idea, and we all have them. And yet, like you said, we have a chorus, and there's also some front runners. And so we're all bringing that in to every moment that we show up. And so you've laid the stage, and we want to give you a chance to take us through an experience where we can discover what that is to encounter those small voices and also to lean in with courage.
Fantastic.
Well, why don't we start by just choosing one of those small voices for you to name, claim, and to bring along with you, because really, the saboteur is one word. And we like to think of them as like these small children. Whether or not you have children, you've seen children throw a tantrum. And ultimately, the tantrum needs to be held. You're going to need to, as a parent or as an adult, you need to get on a knee, get on their level, hear them, hear their emotion, hear what's behind it, understand it, stand under it even, and to let them know that you've got it, that you've got this. So if you want to choose one small voice just for fun, just to keep this game alive, if you want to throw it in the chat, feel free. If you want to give it a different name that kind of, gives it an origin story or something that's fun and cute ultimately, because we want to befriend this small voice. We're not looking to wage a war on it necessarily today, at least, with us, with your brothers. So too much. Okay. I'm not enough. Thank you. So as you just choose the first one that comes to you, if at all, we're going to play this game without expectation, and we're going to, in order to do this experience together, we're going to set these a psychological safe space, the way we know it, around all of your voices, and particularly yours. And ultimately, the positive space starts with between you and yourself. So it's not so much, whether, Maeve or Uta or Pete is going to think about your voice, because ultimately we want to get inside your own relationship where it could be a positive one today. That our intention for you is to actually enjoy this experience today, where maybe you wouldn't have another day without this safe space. So the 5 ways of being.
Yeah, so we're going to go into that in a moment. We're going to make it musical. Just real quick, Jesse, Christy, how long do we have for this whole experience from now? Just want to make sure we hold the time container before reflection. 35 minutes?
30?
40?
30.
30. Perfect.
Yeah. 27.
So taking that prompt that Isaac gave you, just if you'd like to, just for a brief moment, you could just close your eyes and just locate that small voice. So much of our voice is our relationship to it. And in this moment, if you'd like to close your eyes, just locate where that small voice is in your body, in your field. Your body is a whole body instrument. We're going to touch that in a moment. And just noticing that you can just meet that small voice where it's been living, instead of trying to fix it or move away from it, numb it out, make it wrong, just letting it be with you, simply inviting it into whatever this experience is going to be in the next 30 minutes. In the next 30 minutes, we are going to allow ourselves to bring our voices to the forefront where every voice is included. And we're going to play with daring to suck, which we are going to define in a moment. We're going to set some conditions of a safe psychological space, a safe place, a brave, playful space for creativity to flow. And we're going to see what occurs when we allow ourselves to create song together, bringing all that you're feeling into the song, bringing your personal song. Absolutely. Let's do it.
I don't want to plant any seeds like it, but let's do it.
We're going to flow right into the song. So
right.
Okay.
We are indeed. Well, let's, before we touch a key, start again. So for these 5 ways of being are, how we create it every day for ourselves and others. And, ultimately it leads to the opportunity to dare to suck, we call it, which is how everything gets done in our world. And so we want to start by the first way of being, which is generous. Can you be today generous with yourself first and foremost, as a sound, as an experience of the resonance that you are?
And even a breath. So in this moment, we'll make it experiential. Some of you have done this with us before, I know. Just taking a moment, just taking a breath and finding an exhale that's audible, like and in this moment, finding one thing you like, accept, or even love about how that feels. Don't worry about how it sounds. Bringing yourself to how it feels, prioritizing the feeling. It could be out through your mouth, steaming like a kettle. Notice how your breath occurs, filling up through the cavities of your face. You could then go back to just your nose if you'd like, feeling how it feels as it steams out and around the space that you are. Finding one thing you accept or like, or even love about how that feels. That's you being generous already with yourself, with your voice. So that's generosity in action. When we give ourselves generosity, we want to share it with others. Well done.
Nice. Next is curiosity. Can you, in the intention of experiencing playfulness with your voice, freedom even, can you find one thing that you like about what you just experienced and experience it again?
Repeat it. Find that same thing. See if you can add to it. As you exhale, can you send your voice even further up, maybe steaming up through your eyes, your ears, up into the top of your skull? Curiosity
use your
says,
imagination.
Yeah, and curiosity says yes and. It's yes anding yourself, finding one thing you liked, repeating it or adding to it. So that's our second way.
Taking another breath, we're going to the third way of being, which is willing. Willing. And we're going to start here. Can you be willing to unmute in this moment, and sound out? Maybe we'll do on a count of 3. And it's very important that you do share your voice, if you're willing, to sound out any note, because we are going to be writing a song together and we need your voice right now. On the count of 3, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Unmute.
Yeah.
Any sound,
Yeah, give yourself a moment to unmute.
1, 2, dare to suck. 3, good yet.
To add your voice, unmute and add any ah.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
We have our key for the song. Thank you to those brave voices already.
There was a beautiful cacophony of sounds, and it kind of just like came down into this beautiful B flat minor chord. We'll unpack that in a moment. Just feeling what that felt like. We're going to move to our fourth way of being. In awe. This way of being doesn't ask you to look out and find awe in others. It asks you to look in and find the awe within you, within this whole body instrument. Taking a moment, you could just close your eyes. As you allow yourself to just lean back on your spine, can you allow yourself to sink into your body and recognize that no one has your vantage point? And as you inhale and fill yourself with the breath of the room around you, and you connect with how it feels to be you in just this moment, notice that no one has this vantage point than you. Can you find one little piece of awe in that? One little piece of gratitude in that? And notice in this moment as you do that, that the greatest artists, the greatest leaders of all time found awe within themselves enough to trust it and share it. That takes us to our fifth way of being, which is daring. And we call it daring to suck. And that's what we're going to do together now.
Because greatness and sucking are right next to each other. And, you know, there is a doorway of excellence, but we're not going to be passing through that doorway. We're going to be making a mess first. And research has showed that the most creative types on the planet tend to rely on this very thing, which is to generate as much randomly as possible. And then go into, once they've exhausted that part of the process, into more of a distillation process, which then gets more critical and curative by choosing later. So we're going to be doing that very thing.
So the model that's been studied a lot in the generation of brilliance is blind variance. And we're going to start there. Daring to suck is this, ready? To allow that next idea to bubble up and share it in the chat. Bubble up and raise your digital hand and allow it to be voiced. Here's the part 2 of daring to suck. With no attachment. That it's liked, good, acknowledged, used, no attachment. Blind variance means to variate without attachment, that it's the final experience that you were driving toward.
And we know that that is an uncommon state, right? At work, you're going to share your greatest next idea and you're going to dare to suck. And there is consequence sometimes to what we share. But if we have a truly psychologically safe space, then there are moments at which there's no consequence to sharing an idea. That is a key. We're going to model that today. So there is no consequence.
There's no consequence. In fact, I just want to honor Robert's 2 quotes. Just get it down on paper, then we'll see what to do with it. That's exactly it. That's another way of daring to suck. So you can dare to suck by using the chat. You can dare to suck by raising your digital hand. You can also dare to suck by holding this space that holds these 5 ways of being: generous, curious, willing, in awe, and daring.
Can we all agree to those ways of being for today to create this safe space, this brave space? Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, first prompt. We have our key. If you just dared to suck, how does this song sound? How does this song feel? You could use abstract words in the chat. How does it feel as you listen into the song that might already exist between us all here at Culture First? How does it feel? How does it occur? I'm going to take Sandra's as the first.
Awkward and melodious.
Bubbles are beautiful, but will always pop. That's a good song lyric, Sandra. I love that. Awkward and melodious. Interesting. Humming.
Like a hug. That's nice.
I'm only going to improve. That's a nice song lyric too.
Awkward, melodious hug.
Nice. Okay.
Anyone else? What else are you
Freeing.
feeling? And key into why you're here too. You know, what did you bring today? Maybe what you brought today is exactly what this song needs.
We need some silly and uplifting change as well.
Uplifting.
Okay.
Let's go. Invigorating. Freedom. Experimental.
All right.
Ooh.
Well, as we are daring to suck, I'm going to go off the first chord we all sung and coalesced together. So it's starting minor, but I think we're going to end up kind of going joyful at some point.
We're going positivity Gratitude.
I'm daring to suck. I
uplifting,
have
freedom,
nothing planned, okay?
Experimenting. Yeah, we have nothing
Like
planned.
literally, I have no idea what I'm about to do. Here we go.
Absolutely not. Floating and curved, going out. Thank you, Maeve. Diddle, 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 fun, fun, fun.
Someone's already singing.
So yes, Maeve is demonstrating our next request, which is we're going to ask you when you are called and moved by the music, if you are called and moved to share your voice. We're going to ask you in a moment to dare to suck, and it can just be melody, like Maeve is sharing, or it could be lyrical, whatever comes to you. We ask that you just raise your digital hand so that we can call upon you. And as you do that, we're going to let Maeve finish her download. Thank you, Maeve, being the first one. Here we go, Maeve.
Nice. I need to quickly record
We're just
that
making
down.
a little voice note of that.
One sec. Mate, do that again.
Ooh. Yeah, one more time.
Let's try. It just stalls. It's really nice.
I want to see some other digital hands, people. Let's go. Dare to suck. Just because Maeve is killing it.
That was great, Maeve. Thank you for starting
Thank you,
first.
Maeve.
Okay, remember, what we are doing here is modeling something that we can apply to everything in life. It's not really about being any good. It's about daring
Yeah.
in a safe, playful, and brave space with no consequence. So if you'd like to raise your hand, dare to suck, and you'll be a huge influence for us. Okay, Uta, thank you. All right, whenever you're ready, unmute yourself.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. For my inner drama being bad.
Beautiful, Uta, thank you.
Nice.
I
I think we need one more voice.
Yeah.
And I think this person.
All right,
yes,
Carol, thank you. Whenever you're ready. So good to see you. Here we go.
Nice.
Nice.
I feel like you had a verse and a post hook. It's cool. Is there anyone else? Thank you so much, Karen. Is there anyone else that really, like, you've got something and this is an opportunity where the small voices are like, yeah, do not do that. Like,
Don't do that. Maybe you've never sung out loud before. And you have just a few words to share, which would be empowering
maybe
for you
just
to
a
share
word.
your voice. Yeah.
maybe there's a word.
Okay, Sharon, you're on deck. Come on. Here we go. Oh, we can't hear you. Just unmute yourself. There you are.
Sing it to us.
Ooh, that was powerful though.
That's kind of all we needed.
That was amazing. We can make music out of anything, not just us. We all can, right? We can source ideas from that. That was like a powerful piece of feedback. Your first note was incredible.
Thorald's going to go into the booth, the vocal booth, and kind of put those together while we quickly just have a little chat. So from the music that's come down so far and the energy that you're feeling right now that's kind of emerging, what are some words? What's the feeling of this song right now that you're hearing? Just drop it in the chat for some feeling words to ground us, to coalesce. Heart connection, cautious exploration. Heart connection, cautious, fullness. Leaning into. Brave, inspiration, expansive, opening of the heart, yeah. Nature documentary of the moment when cocoons are going to hatch, yeah. The burgeoning. Opening, it's okay. In the heavy but unwilling to give in to hopelessness. Oof. Yeah. Released inner courage. Love it. Embracing. Great. I feel like we're aligning here. What is the imagery? What's a metaphor that kind of holds what you're feeling here? What do you see? Grateful. What else do you see? What's an image? Clouds. Yeah. What else? Chrysalis, the cocoon. Love it. Breaking through a chrysalis. Light. Yeah. Tall grass moving in the wind. Nice. Hands holding.
Sharon might want to say something more. I
think she's just forgot. I think she's yeah.
No, she said in the chat that she'd like to say something.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, Sharon, is it about the song lyric?
Yeah, it was just, I have been on another device. I couldn't figure out how to get rid of it. And by the time I did, you were gone. I was just going to sing a few notes to the song. I don't know if it's too late.
Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back to singing because we'll come back to that. We're just on lyrics right now. But do you want to, because we'll need to record it when you do sing it. How about that?
Should I tell you what I was going to sing or should I just wait?
Okay, yeah. If it's coming out, let's capture it.
Yeah, I mean, I had it, but I just was on the other device. I couldn't get rid of it. So you want me just to say it or to sing it?
Yeah, sing it a cappella if you don't mind.
I'm sorry, tell it instead of sing it? Did you say? I'm sorry.
Sing it, please.
Oh, okay. I am lovely, you are lovely, how great is that? I am lovely, you are lovely. And then I was going to think of something else.
Love that. Great. That's exactly what we kind of heard when you sang it, so thank you.
Oh, I think that
Thank you, Sharon. Well, we've got Hands Outreached, Sunrise Over the Mountains, beautiful. So Thorald's going to sing you basically kind of like a play-by-play of the melody. We don't have any lyrics yet. Laura, our amazing teammate here, is going to share her screen, and we're going to piece this together lyrically from the chat. But here's the melody we want you to follow. Yeah. And these are all melodies that came from Sharon and Uta and Maeve here.
Just doing a quick sculpt and kind of bringing it together, directing it forward. So we're going to start in the story of the beginning of a song, so a verse, something like, so we can go. I won't feel that change, yeah. Seamless love, I'm waiting out.
And that's all we're going to listen to right now because that's what we're going to start with.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So what could that be?
What might that be?
We're just going to trust. We're going to trust that we can choose. So drop it in the chat if you can hear words over that melody that you are willing to share without attachment to them being used or chosen.
Near this beam of light, running through the gray clouds, something starts Everyone to grow. Is on their way now. That's nice too. Something starts to grow out. Everyone is on their way now.
I like that. Laura, let's share screen now and get down to business.
Let's go share the screen now.
All right.
There you go.
Let's go
Everyone
to verse.
is on their way now, and something starts to grow loud.
Drop in some more lyrics here, just add us up.
Da, 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 na, 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 na. Yeah, yeah. And live is the path. We are not alone now. Nice. Da, 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 na, na, and in ways I couldn't see. Help me find my life now. Maybe I am fast. I feel like that Robert, that lyric is going to fit great in the chorus. The light will guide the way. That's nice.
So if everyone is on their way now, what's the next lyric? We're going to sing everyone's on their way now and then gibberish for the second. See if you can feel that in. Laura, let's start with that.
So, everyone is on their way now.
What's that next line?
Opening their hearts up. Opening at their hearts. One step at a time out. One step at a time. We are not alone. Everyone is on their way.
I like that. We are not alone. Yeah.
We are not alone. Is there a word after alone? Some is straight, some is curved.
I love Robert's hearing the next part already. I love it. We are not alone, love. We are not alone now. Yeah, we are not alone, love. Yeah, let's put that down.
Is on their way now.
We are not alone, love. There's so much ahead, so much in the. Do we want to state what could we bring in here that feels emotional? Everyone's on their way now. We're not alone, love. And there's something emotional here.
It can be a rocky road.
It can be a rocky road. Yeah, let's do that.
But we ain't going. So no.
No. Straight or curved, I don't care how.
Oh, straight or curve, we don't know. That's cool.
Yeah, straight or curved, we don't know. That's nice.
Let's keep going to another section. Well done, everyone.
Nice.
So we're gonna hear come up with this little pre-chorus.
So this is another melody. This next melody that's coming.
Yeah. We don't know. I came. There it is. I came. Something's got up. No, that's not it. But it's close.
One step on the path. Truth reveals the path. Maybe I'm fat, maybe I'm fast, maybe I'm slow.
Let's go. And I'll take time. Oh, I'll take ground. That's nice.
One step at a time.
That's nice. That's cool.
So if one step at a time,
One step
the path will rise. It's nice.
at a time.
I know the path will rise.
Will rise.
Love is on its way.
Whoa, yeah. One more step,
Surfing on the pain, I like
that. At a time, and all the path will rise. Souls need a guide.
What's the next melody?
Yeah. Sweet. All right, let's go to this chorus, and then we can kind of refine that part. It goes.
Is this Sharon's chorus?
Yeah.
Sharon
it's a
coming in
morph.
with the chorus.
I'm lonely.
Soul needs a guide. Surfing on the pain.
Surfing on the big things I'm alive. Every day it's my time. How am I gonna be now? Yeah, yeah. I'm lonely now.
What do you got?
Surfing on the pain now. Souls need a guide, feeling like one buzz. Oh. So the melody is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. Could be variations. No, 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 no. Much to my surprise, no, no. Much to my surprise, we're right. I'm done playing the game, standing on the line.
Souls need a guide. Much to my surprise, we rise.
That's kind of cool.
I kind of like much to my
Much
surprise.
to my
Surprise, we rise. Souls need a guide.
Much to the lights and the dark die, and down and they don't know. Much to my surprise, we rise. The soul needs a guide. Shed my disguise inside.
I love that. Shed my disguise.
No one need to hide. That's nice too. Shed my
So
disguise.
much to my surprise, we rise. The soul needs a guide. I shed my disguise.
Wow.
Needs a guide. I shed my disguise inside. No more need to hide.
Much to my surprise, we rise. There's
No more need to hide.
Not another day.
And then no more need to hide after that, as like the back of that. Let's sing this chorus, see if it needs more.
Yeah, 1, 2. Much to my surprise, we rise.
The soul needs a guide. Shed my disguise inside. No more need to hide. Standing tall with pride. No more master standing tall.
All right, how do we feel? Much to my surprise.
I feel like we need another verse. Second verse.
Okay.
And
Where are we
I
at
think-
with timing here?
Yeah, let's check,
have-
time check. Oh,
We have 5 more minutes.
So maybe
We have 5
we'll
more
repeat
minutes.
the verse
I think we might.
because that's what we're going to do. Because we want to talk about this.
Yeah, so there was
Let's
one.
repeat that verse, knowing that we could write another verse if we wanted to.
There was one really nice high note that I feel like we could soar to, like,
Okay.
much to my surprise, we rise. Our soul needs a guide.
I shed my disguise inside. No more need to hide. What can we sing there?
There's this beautiful high note Carol was singing.
Voices rise.
Our voices rise.
Standing tall.
That's nice. It could be cool, like just our voices rise.
Let's do it.
We could write that
Nice.
down. Our
Okay,
voices
great.
rise. Can we separate that off as its own hook?
As like a post-chorus.
Yeah, maybe we could just separate that. And that could repeat twice. Very cool. So we have
In my way.
this verse. We have this. So we need to hear the verse.
Robert, you're a songwriter. I love
Yeah.
it. Okay, so everyone, this is our rough draft. We dared to suck and got to hear.
draft.
What is this song called? Drop it in the chat.
When we name something that we have been varying toward, we give it an inherent value, right? Even if it's not done, it's in formation, it's in flow. What's this working title? What's
Drop it in the chat, Dare to Suck. If you haven't shared yet,
Rise Up. Nice.
share it. Rise up. Okay, what else? I love it. Our voices rise. Yeah. We are not alone. We rise.
All of us are moving.
All of us are moving. Cool.
What it's all about.
What it's all about. We rise.
Definitely
Shared
has
by
that
the
mysterious,
skies.
complex, and also
Rise. Thank you, John.
happy, joyful mystery to this song.
In the
It's exactly
surprise
what
we
you all
rise.
described.
Okay, so
In the surprise we
it
rise.
looks like we rise.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of We Rise like coming through, so I'm
Yeah.
executive decision.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
let's
go
go
with
with
that.
the We Rise.
Okay.
We rise.
Could be our voices rise too.
Whose first song? Drop it in the chat. Just put a 1 in the chat if this is your first song. Drop it in the
Please,
chat.
yeah,
Let
please
us
drop it in
know.
the chat.
And congratulations, even
Yes.
if it isn't your first. We rise. Everyone, even if you didn't say anything or sing anything or put anything in the chat, because you're present, songwriting 101 rules is that you're an equal member of this song. So congratulations. We're going to sing it together for the first time. Global debut of We Rise. Here we go with feeling.
Yeah, please sing it from your end too.
And we'll probably unmute. We'll let you know when to unmute. But we'll sing it first all the way through, and then we'll make a mess at the end together. But please sing where you are. Don't just listen
Fantastic,
to us.
Pete. Congratulations.
for it.
All right, so the verse melody is, everyone is on their way now, but we are not alone, love. It can be a rocky road, straight or curved, we don't know. The pre-chorus is, one step at, that's the part I can't hear. Let me hear it. Yeah, it's one step at a time. Not quite. No, here. One of them eyes.
Yes, there it is.
And then, much to my surprise, we rise. Woo, keeps building. All right, here we go.
Sexy melody. All right, here we go.
Global
We
debut.
Rise. I want to record it on that one.
Yes, do. All right, here we go. We rise. Everyone is on their way now. We are not alone. No. It could be a rocky road, straight or curved, we don't know. One step at a time. To my surprise, we rise. The soul needs a guide. I shed my disguise inside. No more need to hide. Our voices rise. Our voices rise.
Everyone is on their way. The verse.
Everyone is on their way now. We are not alone. No. It could be a rocky road. Oh. Straight or curved, we don't know. One step at a time. To my surprise, we rise. The soul needs a guide. I shed my disguise inside. No more need to hide. Our voices rise. Our voices rise. mess with us.
Unmute. Here we go. Chorus.
Much to magnify
we rise. Our souls need to rise. Shed my disguise inside. No need to hide. Here we go. Our voices rise. Our voices rise. One more time. Our voices rise.
voices rise.
Hey.
Where are you?
Yes.
All
All
right.
right, there it was.
My gosh, round of applause, everyone.
First ever. So as you can see, we dared to suck. We used blind variants. We created a safe, playful, brave space to do the unthinkable. We can't think, right? But we can radically include each other to dare to suck, to allow what wants to emerge as it emerges. We can't attach to how it emerges. We just allow it to. So in the creative process flow that we do with individuals and companies, we spend longer now going back through and distilling, right? Playing with curation, using the technology of having fresh perspective to walk about and come back, to understand what to tweak where something got knocked out or someone wants to challenge a section here and there. And that's all part of life. We call that selective retention, right? And actually, as people in business, we're used to doing that. We're used to leading with selective retention. What we feel like we need more of is blind variants, more daring to suck, and
Trust.
more courageous, brave spaces to bring the best of the magic forward first before critique, right? And so today's really a model in how if we create the right conditions and the right petri dish of play, the greatness of our teams can come forward, right? And then people feel seen, people feel heard, people feel reflected back and valued. And so we hope you got a touch of the model. We're going to pass it back. We'd love for you to, the time we have, to unpack, what you discovered in yourself and how you showed up. How did it go for you, Jessie?
I love that everyone kind of had their own, obviously none of us work together or anything. And some of us know each other, but some people were like, yeah, I'll come off mute and sing. And then other people were like amazing with lyrics. And then, everyone kind of like had a thing that they were really good at, or almost like came naturally to them almost, even though they don't do this.
Agreed. Yeah. We can do magnificent things if we just, take a risk.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Christy, how was that for you?
It was so cool yet again to see as each time it's like, oh, there's no way this is going to come together, in such a short amount of time with so many different ideas. We've all been in team scenarios where you got to reach consensus. And obviously having even more time is powerful, but I think it was such a neat chance to get at two things that, and we talked about in advance. One is, what's that experience like for you, for each of us? Like, what was the small voice for me before I came off mute that was talking me out of it? And then also, what can I do? What can we do to create the space that you guys created for us today? So those two things are on my mind. Would love to hear what's percolating for others when you think about translating this back to work.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm so curious what it would look like at your workplace, to have moments where, okay, we're gonna have a safe, psychological safe space. We're gonna have a brave space for new ideas. So let's open it up. Be more generative in that way, and then maybe a brave space for selective and selection and like curating the ideas from yesterday's session. How can you kind of incorporate some of the creative process into idea generation at work, or sharing spaces where ideas can circulate.
I even loved that Amelia was an advocate for Sharon when she just came off mute, was like, I think Sharon has something to say, and how we can do that in our workplaces too, right? Where you may not notice that someone is trying to share something, but then you can notice it, and then you're like, wait, I'm going to give that person a little extra space for them to share. I think that was really special.
It
Thanks,
was.
Amelia.
And of course that, it's not always the case, but it became the chorus melody, right? So, and we consider it, right when we have that idea that wants to bubble up, but we have a part of us that goes, don't share that. We encourage each of you to see what happens when you do, especially when we can unattach to it being liked, acknowledged, or received in a way that we need it to be okay. What happens when we don't need anything in return, that we just create the environment for ourselves where we do share? And what kind of courage, muscle does that take?
Yeah.
And what kind of psychologically safe space around yourself can you start to build as well? A lot of our work is around helping an individual build that safe space for themselves, and then bring it into their environments, their community, their family, and of course their work environment. Does anyone have anything they want to share? I would love to hear what you're gleaning, what you're unpacking from the 35-minute experience.
I just wanted to call out Enrique, who wrote in the chat, what emerges might surprise us if leaders create the right environment for everyone.
Yes.
That was great.
Really well said. And I love what Lyndall just wrote too. Creating safe spaces for magnificent things and taking risks was just created with a group of strangers.
And Susan raised a hand.
Yes.
Thank you, Susan.
Yeah, I was just thinking about sort of Dare to Suck Wednesdays with my team of
Yes.
really having conversation around what did you suck at in the last 7 days, and just bringing in permission for that in a fun way.
That's fantastic. Yeah, celebrating things that didn't work, not having to brush it under the metaphoric carpet and bring it to air, right?
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued by the power of you all being professional musicians and having the setup to take small ideas and make them immediately sound good, right? We know no one's saying, oh, we got to a final draft, but you were able to make something beautiful quickly and give people kind of some instant validation that their idea has some legs. And it's making me curious about what's the analog of that? How can a leader on a team validate in that way? It's more than yes and it's yes anding, but it's like, oh, yes and I'm going to put your idea up on a big stage and give it a microphone in a way that you see it in a different way. I'm just making me wonder about that.
That's huge.
It's a great question and great point. And I think there would be there is a I think a great leader is going to know how to reflect and hearken back the idea, so that just by sharing back the idea, saying it back to them, maybe putting a little spin on it or giving it context. We call that kind of part of the creative process sculpting, where it's not the idea generation, but it's this amazing gift in the human being to hearken, to sound out and reflect back, and to say, I get you, I see you, I hear you, and I reflect you, I honor you.
Yes and that, 100%.
So it's more than a yes and, for sure.
It's more than that, because you're actually moving from what Isaac just described as sculpting into holding it into some frame. And Amelia, there is a magic trick to music, and obviously music is such a beloved, reverent, and interesting part of the human experience, right? It's often celebrated, sometimes not celebrated, but we all agree that song and music is special in our experience. So it is like a magic trick, like a great magician. In that sense, it's special. However, I think the ingredients Isaac just highlighted are so important for this session tonight, which is, if you take away the song and the music piece, what is left in the bones is what you're doing as a leader is leading with generous, curious, willing, awe-filled daringness, and you're seeking to bring out the potentiality of someone by seeing them, hearing them, and reflecting them back and bringing what they just said into the frame of the space. Whether it's the idea you're building, product, service, or otherwise, you're bringing out and playing with the putty of their potential as if they're the ingredients that you're conducting. And I think that's not about song and music. That's about the way you're being as a leader or as a facilitator. And that's there without song or music. And that you can bring to your worlds tonight, tomorrow. So often we tend to put up with hostile, competitive, and comparative environments. And it's our great pleasure to help break those down and bring in voice positive ones, which is you're seeking to create people being seen, heard, and reflected back. Even if their idea doesn't get used, that they are in the environment knowing that it might at least get played with.
Yeah, it's an experience real time of like the multiplier effect, really, where the sum of our parts is surprisingly greater. So yeah, we couldn't have done that chorus without Sharon, right? So yeah, and then we multiplied it with her blessing and with all of your energy. And it helps when you set a deadline. A time component we find is important for the creative process, because there is this kind of pressure in birthing, right? Metaphorically, literally, and in all ways. There's this necessity of pressure that distills the moment, that creates the diamond in the rough. Even if we just got to a rough, there's still some diamond that we can all hear in there. There's something in there. Is it? Probably not, but is it in there? Yes.
I love your question and share, Amelia. It's making me think a lot about, there's a magic in song, because there's a little thingy, there's an outcome, even if it's not ever released or used. And it makes me want to just leave in the space this idea of, well, what's your thingy? As you're leading people to be seen, heard, and reflected back, like what are the little demos of possibilities that people can see their potential in and feel valued? Your
mirror,
right? Yeah. Mirrored, valued, and working towards something, even if you all sleep on it and you come back and you're like, well, we're not going to go with that as a thingy, but it was nice to play with the thingy. Now we can see clearer what the thingy wants to be. And I think that's what song does as a model, right? As a medium to play with.
Sounds like a new party conversation. What's your thingy?
Anyone else have anything they're unpacking? Pass it back to you all.
This has been powerful. There's so much here, so much about leadership and what we draw out, so much about culture and creating that environment. So you've left us with so much. And Jessie, do you want to bring us all?
Yeah. Well, I was even just thinking about, like, even when you're facilitating or doing anything like this to create an environment for our psychological safety, is like the warm up matters. What we just modeled here, which was just like getting people to check in, start to use their voice so that we can eventually write this song together. Having a container with rules of engagement, validating and hearkening, validating folks with and thanking them. And even just being advocates. I have like lots of notes that I'm still processing, but
yes,
there's so many little things that we can do into like implementing the way that we show up at work with folks from this. So thank you. And those are going to look different for all of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. We see voice positivity as to build voice positive culture is to seek the best in each other, even in such a like presentation heavy, competitive environment. It's not, I was just with a great friend, a fellow leader, it's like, it's not what we can have from an experience or someone, it's what we can bring for and what we can have for someone. It's amazing how much more effective that is. And generally when we show up for someone in the space, we're showing up for ourselves too. What we most need, we can pass on. I know I found one of the biggest breakthroughs I had with my mental ill health journey was when I started giving and teaching others what I needed most, real time. I started bringing it into how I was facilitating the mental health that I needed, so that I was not just teaching it and embodying it and digesting it, but I was like giving it for and receiving it too. And I feel like that is part of it, no matter how you bring this into your world. And we're so honored to have been with you all. We love doing this work, and we specifically, I know Laura and I know Jessie will share how to reach us. We make it a point to dare to request that if what you've experienced today has lit something in you and you'd like to explore it further, for yourself individually or for your teams, please reach out to us. We really love this work. And we have a big vision, not just to continue to bring it to the individual through our Songwriters Journey programs and courses we do about reclaiming voice, but we also love doing this with companies and works, teams, workshops, and events, small and large.
Person as well as online too.
Yeah. And so if it does call you, please reach out to us. Thank you, Laura. Laura, hey, round of applause for Laura for scribing, part of our team. But please feel free to reach out to us. No pressure. We threw a little gift in the chat, and also just write to us directly if it calls you to find out more about how we've been coming into teams and helping switch on this voice positive culture build.
Yeah, our email's there. We get it. brotherskoren@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
You've got an Empowered Voice Summit coming up. And more.
Embodied voice, yeah.
We do, and it's coming up. You could be in our world. We'd love to do more with you both, Christy and Jesse, here at Culture First. So thanks for having us.
Thanks for everyone.
Okay, well, can we all come off mute and use your voice to show the Brothers Koren some love and appreciation? So if you are able to, please share a little whoop, a little clap, a little
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sound of your choice.
Thank you all. Such a pleasure.
So
Love you.
closing things, check out, we have an upcoming event in September. We're going to roast HR again. So we did this in February and it was a total hit. So if you want to come and be a part of that, please join us. If you're not in our People Geek Slack community already, definitely join that, and you can keep the conversation going in a digital discussion forum. I'll send this out afterwards with everyone. Cheers to co-creating a better world of work. We always do this thing called a clap out. Many of you have seen this. And so we're going to do something a little bit unique where I'm going to ask you all to come off mute one more time. And Christy is going to count us to 3. She's going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we're all just going to go, ha, like whatever angelic noise comes to your mind. Just
or devilish, either one.
Yeah,
Yes.
the event's gonna just end. That's what's gonna
Love
happen.
it. All right, if you haven't shared your voice yet, and by sharing it tonight or today, it will leave you empowered. Like you got this session. We dare you to unmute.
Yes.
Here we go.
Right.
We'll see you out in the world. Sing with you
And a
soon. Thank you,
1
everyone.
and 2 and 3.